Susan Crawford, Fiber, The Coming Tech Revolution, and Why America Might Miss It. Embark on a journey to explore the state of America's internet connectivity and how it trails behind other nations like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore. Fiber, The Coming Tech Revolution, and Why America Might Miss It, by Susan Crawford unveils the consequences of poor internet accessibility on education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Get a glimpse of how powerful business interests and political corruption hamper the spread of fiber connections, and discover how some cities are taking matters into their own hands by building their own local fiber networks to boost their economy and societal development.
America's internet lag. The United States, once a leader in technology, now falls behind countries such as Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, and China in terms of internet connectivity. While fiber technology has reached or will reach all homes in those countries, the average American household struggles with slow internet speeds at high prices. The lack of progress creates a growing divide between the U.S. and other nations who are likely to see new industries and ways of making a living emerge. The cost of slow internet. Slow copper connections create a bottleneck that limits the growth and progress of the U.S. The country needs fast fiber connectivity to thrive, but it remains out of reach for many households due to powerful business interests and political indifference. The consequence of slow internet affects education, business, and healthcare. Children are robbed of equal educational opportunities, business startups are hindered, and healthcare solutions cannot be fully realized. For the U.S. to succeed, it needs to provide cheap and ubiquitous connectivity to all households. America's Technological Legacy. The book reveals how past U.S. presidents utilized private sector partnerships to establish America's technological superiority in the 19th and 20th centuries. The railroad system championed by Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's mandate to electrify every American home, and Dwight Eisenhower's highway system created the foundation for the nation's economic growth and prosperity. The impact of fiber optics. Fiber optics carry voice and internet traffic for decades with negligible signal degradation. A few strands connect the US and China, but fiber is not yet widely used in America. Despite this, Americans pay more than almost all other developed countries for average download speeds. The digital divide in America. America's rural and inner cities suffer from a lack of high-speed internet as the major providers monopolize the market and prioritize profits. The absence of fiber infrastructure hinders advanced wireless services. This digital divide has economic, social, and political consequences. The Federal Communications Commission's efforts to address the issue have been thwarted, resulting in a country divided by access to online services. America's digital divide is a result of the near monopoly enjoyed by internet providers who prioritize profits over providing quality services. The installation of fiber optics is expensive, particularly when it extends into homes. Although millions of people in farming communities and small towns lack wired internet, the monopolies see no reason to spend the necessary funds and cut into their profits. This has resulted in over a third of Americans living in rural counties or inner cities with low speed or no wired internet access. Many existing providers have stopped expanding or improving their services, and others have abandoned these markets. The government and carriers offer wireless internet through mobile devices, which, apart from being slow, have expensive data plans. However, even these proposed solutions are ineffective as laying fiber infrastructure is crucial to support 5G that requires millions of micro towers to connect internet users across the country. Rural Americans mainly rely on slow and expensive copper lines or satellite connections while they watch the divide between them and their city counterparts widen. With the future of agriculture depending on data, real-time analysis, and GPS technologies, millions of rural Americans without access to the internet are falling further behind and causing a digital, economic, and political divide. The absence of advanced internet services hinders online learning, health services, and business opportunities, thus preventing many Americans from being part of the digital world and enjoying the benefits it offers. In 2015, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, FCC, tried to classify high-speed internet as a utility, which would have granted everyone the right to have it in their homes like water and electricity. However, the Trump presidency resulted in the shelving of these efforts. The FCC's refusal to enact regulations requiring minimum internet access to U.S. households, combined with their approval of giant media mergers, has resulted in a country divided by access to online services. The FCC's approval of media mergers has also resulted in the giants, Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, and CenturyLink dividing monopoly territories. Even the most connected parts of the country have one carrier providing high-speed internet or crushing far weaker competition. The digital divide in America is a pressing issue that has a significant impact on individuals and society's collective well-being. The government and stakeholders must take action to close this divide and enable millions of Americans to access the numerous benefits that come with high-speed internet services. Local fiber networks. American cities are solving the national problem of expensive internet services by building their own fiber networks. Municipal fiber networks have transformed cities like Chattanooga and Wilson into regional tech hubs with cheaper high-speed internet access. Investing in fiber is crucial for the economic development and prosperity of a city since it attracts and retains talented young people, new businesses, and investors. Municipal fiber networks also make virtual and augmented reality education possible for rural students. However, replicating the success of fiber networks requires overcoming fierce resistance from established energy, cable, and telephone companies. The power of fiber. Fiber internet infrastructure is a crucial element of a city's progress, but it alone is not enough to solve inequality and division in society. Chattanooga's successful implementation of fiber internet is credited to the Chattanooga Way, the collaboration of government, utilities, businesses, and citizens. While fiber created new business opportunities and jobs, centuries-old divisions in society hindered equal access to opportunities. The lack of vocational skills training perpetuated cycles of poverty and education gaps among locals prevented them from filling many of the job openings created. The solution to bridging the inequality gap is to ensure every student, rich or poor, urban or rural, has access to fiber connection. Without addressing this issue, the future of liberal democracy remains at risk because most poorer people tend to have slow or no internet access, resulting in their schools suffering, too. Chattanooga's success will only continue if everyone benefits from it, leading to more children learning, graduation and landing in high-paying jobs. The power of fiber in the Chattanooga Way can bring positive change, but it's the joint effort of individuals that will determine the city's long-term prosperity. The battle for public fiber networks. Building fiber networks as a public utility is no easy feat, especially when lobbying powers and lawmakers side with cable monopolies. Chattanooga, Wilson, and other American communities with thriving fiber networks face additional obstacles, making it difficult for other cities to emulate their success. However, determined leaders and public will, along with municipal bonds and investors who don't expect returns for up to a decade, can help brave communities overcome the cabal of cable and telephone providers and paid-for politicians. Revenues from a fiber network stay in the region after installation, unlike private equity that pockets the profits. Although local utilities and cable companies resist its use, switching to fiber can propel the U.S. back to being the home of new ideas and opportunity. The importance of a national fiber network. With the rise of world-class connectivity in nations around the globe, the lack of affordable and accessible internet in the United States is concerning. According to the author, the government should partner with private industry to create a national fiber network that reaches every home and supports next-gen technology. If last-mile fiber is owned by cable, utility, and telephone companies, they may limit access to their competition, fail to serve those who can't pay, and charge exorbitant prices. The cost of not acting on this matter could lead the U.S. to lose its place in the world and threaten its democracy and way of life.
In conclusion, fiber, the coming tech revolution, and why America might miss it, highlights the critical need for a comprehensive fiber network in the United States to bridge the digital divide and democratize access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. The book emphasizes the role of political will, public investment, and local initiatives in overcoming the stranglehold of monopoly providers and realizing the transformative potential of high-speed internet. By understanding and acting upon these issues, the United States could re-secure its place as a leader in technology and innovation while ensuring a prosperous and inclusive future for its citizens.